Us Jamaicans, we love Jamaica so much, but Jamaica's treated us so bad. And when I say Jamaica's treated us so bad, I'm talking about the government cut loose of the monarchy. An apology, I don't know what an apology will do for Jamaican people. Just like gone on YouTube, to give your brain some new food. Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I say you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today's video is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm going to be talking about a few different things just to let my subscribers know that I'm still here, I'm still active, just doing a whole lot of work behind the scenes. And for that reason, I haven't had the time to cover any of the situation, or I didn't really see anything worthy to be covering in Jamaica, to be honest. But it's the weekend, I've got some free time, and I thought, let me grace my subscribers with my face. But before I do that, let me give an extra special shout out to one of my subscribers, Grace B, who recently bought a copy of my book, Survive Raw and Unedited. She purchased it directly from me. I was happy because I was able to sign it and send it off. If people order my book online, you're gonna get it from a third party and I am not able to sign it. So once again, big up Grace B. I appreciate the purchase. All proceeds will be going towards the documentary for my autobiography, which has been keeping me busy for the last time. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into today's video. First of all, you guys must be wondering, why is Red Rat, the Jamaican artist, is on the thumbnail? All right, like I say, I'm talking about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I'm actually just reasoning with you guys. I'm not really talking about anything in particular, but then again, I am talking about Jamaica. You know, sometimes you're on YouTube browsing and they show you recommended videos, like videos you might be interested in. I came across a video with Red Rat being interviewed by, I believe, someone called DJ Cash in Atlanta, Georgia. And I thought, you know, I'm a Red Rat fan, so let me click into this video to hear what's going on with Red Rat. And you know what? Red Rat, if you're watching this video, big up yourself. But I was actually disappointed in hearing Red Rat's story. I regretted clicking on the video, and I'm going to tell you guys why I regretted clicking on the video. After watching the video with Red Rat's interview, I felt like when a child just learned that Santa Claus is not real. That's how I felt. I felt like someone just kicked me in the stomach. And what I mean by that is, when Red Rat came out, I believe I'm about the same age, maybe a year or two older than Red Rat, so I'm quite familiar with his rise. I'm quite familiar with the mainstream crew. I'm quite familiar with Goofy. I lived in Marvelly, and Goofy is from Marvelly, so I was familiar with that crew when they were coming out. For you guys who don't know Red Rat or know what he looked like, he's a high color, yellow looking Jamaican, uptown looking people. That's what was going on then in the 80s and 90s. Lighter skinned people tend to live uptown. Doesn't mean that we didn't have brown skinned people live downtown in the hood, but lighter skinned people tend to live uptown, and you could come to a success conclusion about certain people, certain Jamaican, based upon how they look. I was under the impression that Red Rat was spawned from prominence, kind of like a silver spoon in his mouth, and that's how he rose to fame. And as I was listening to Red Rat's story, it mirrored my story so much that I was upset. I was disappointed to learn that what I thought of Red Rat was not so. I was disappointed to learn that at one point, like myself, he was bouncing from one person's house to another person's house, pretty much homeless as a child, like I was. And I don't know if it's because I could relate to his story so much, why it annoyed me, or is it the fact that I had a total different impression of his background, you know? So it resonated the same. You see a man's face, you see a man's success, but you don't really know his story. But I think the part that upsetted me the most was the fact that there are hardly any Jamaican, successful or not, with a pleasant story. Jamaica has treated its people so wrong, so bad. When I was a child, we should have things in place that could be refuge for people like myself, people like Red Rat. I'm gonna put the link of that video at the end so you guys can watch it. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I watched it about halfway and then I just kind of kissed my teeth and lied. This shouldn't be so. It shouldn't have been so in the 80s, and it should not have been a reality today, because I can bet that it's happening now. Us Jamaicans, we love Jamaica so much, but Jamaica's treated us so bad. And when I say Jamaica's treated us so bad, I'm talking about the government. The government from, we got independence all the way up. The government has just continued that slavery that we were under by the white oppressors. Too much Jamaican artists, too much Jamaican successes have that story or something similar to it. Why am I hungry? Why am I never live nowhere? Why am I butter from here to there? It's too familiar. And that story just annoyed me, and I'm like, as much as I love my country, and then I start thinking, what do I love about my country so much? What is it that I love about Jamaica so much? I love the culture. I love our people. I love the strength that we have, that despite the oppressors, black or white, we continue to live, we continue to survive. But it shouldn't have been so. Especially when you've traveled around the world and see how other countries' government put their citizens first and take care of their citizens. I'm living in one of those countries right now that example could not be any more prominent. Switzerland, Swiss government take care of Swiss nationals. They put them first. And they have no shame in the game to telling you, our citizens come first. Doesn't mean they don't take care of foreigners that migrate to Switzerland. But Switzerland takes a pride in putting their citizens first. And I can say the same for the UK. I can say the same for the United States of America. With all that prejudice and all that bias and all that, everybody in America that has a social security number can get a handout, can get a paycheck. Every so-called bum or every so-called homeless people, they have options that Jamaicans don't have. All the homeless people that you see in the United States streets that say they are homeless, look at some other YouTube videos and see how many abandoned homes are also in the United States of America. Point I'm trying to make is, if Jamaicans were in that situation, you know how we do. We would have fixed up some old, broken down, so-called abandoned houses, and we would have just made that our home. Hey, listen, I'm not saying people in England and people in the US don't have it hard, but I'm saying, depending on one's wealth, the term hardship has different definitions. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. Next, I'm gonna cover the Prince William and Kate's visit to Jamaica. I'm not even gonna cover it, I'm just gonna share my opinion. Jamaicans are screaming for repatriation and apology and all that stuff. I'm proud to see it. I'm proud to see that the children of yesteryear are now adults today. Our parents weren't as educated as us and weren't as exposed to the information that we're exposed to. Our parents didn't have access to the internet and so on and so forth. So now we're adults. We have this knowledge, this intelligence. So it's our duty to do what we're doing. So I'm all for the stance that we're taking and saying, cut loose of the monarchy. I'm with that 100%. An apology, I don't know what an apology will do for Jamaican people. It wouldn't do anything for me. When someone say to me, I'm sorry, does that make me whole? No. The damage that we're talking about here is beyond apology. Compensation. I'm on the fence with compensation. Why? Because let's face it, Jamaican politicians, Jamaica is a country, if you Google it, and Google its corruption rank, it's one of those countries that are high up in the countries of corruption in the world. So when I thought about compensation, I'm talking about billions of pounds to the Jamaican people, I thought, would the Jamaican people benefit? Would the descendants of slaves benefit? Or would the politicians benefit? Of course, money can't make us whole, but Jamaicans are poor. Jamaicans have been poor. Okay, we didn't have a raw deal like Haiti had. I came across an article that says Haiti, who was one of the first to got out of slavery, eventually was sold to Citibank. That has bewildered me. But anyway, that's a different story. Let's stick with Jamaica here. Let's stick with the money. Would we benefit? Would the everyday Jamaican benefit? I think no. And I think no because history has spoken. History has repeated itself where Jamaican government is concerned. If you guys have been following my channel a long time, you guys know that at one point I was all for Andrew Holness. But I give credit where credit is due, and I give debit where debit is due. So Andrew Holness once had my support, had my admiration. And then after a while, I realized that Andrew Holness is no different from the rest of politicians, whether they're JLP or PNP. Andrew Holness is not really for the people of Jamaica. We want a party, we want a prime minister that is for the people of Jamaica. Speaking about a party, most of you guys must be wondering, whatever happened to the UIC thing that was supposed to happen with me in the UIC? Shout out to my UIC contact. I don't want to put your name out there, but I appreciate you for always keeping in touch with me and trying to make the virtual meeting work. I was 100% in. I was 100% interested in talking to the president. I went through one person who put me onto another person, and that person says, okay, the president is ready to talk to you. And then I didn't hear anything. And then after that, I heard that there was like an attempted coup in the UIC party, and there were allegations that because the president of the UIC could not afford a party account, like a business account for the UIC. He had a personal account, and there were allegations and suspicion that money were taken from the personal account by the president, and I was just like, I am not interested. I'm a serious man when it comes to business. I'm a serious man when it comes to partnership. Besides, I'm not really the ideal person for the UIC president to speak to. I'm not really one of those journalists. I'm more of an opinionated person and a critic, so I'm not there to interview the UIC president and hear what he has to say. I have my own suggestions. I have my own criticism. So having an interview with me would be different. So I'm saying, because at the end of the day, I'm for the Jamaican people. That's what I want. I'm there for Jamaica and Jamaican people. I want to see better for the Jamaican people. So for that reason, once you start hearing allegations about money being spent, I'm not saying it's a fact, but what we Jamaicans say, if on a so, a near so. If it's not a fact, it's something near in the fact. I could challenge the old private bank account and all that, but I don't want to get into all that. I'm just saying, If someone said they're gonna get with me for a meeting, I expect you to get with me for a meeting. I live in Switzerland. Maybe I've adapted too much of the Swiss culture, but in Switzerland, standards is everything. A man's word holds more weight than his bank account. So if I'm in Switzerland, I'm in Swiss time. Everything in Switzerland is punctual. I've reached out, I've been in contact with people in Jamaica for one reason or another, and I realized that they're in Jamaican time. They move at a total different pace. And unfortunately, I have to say I like the Swiss time better because we have 24 hours in a day, we have 7 days in a week, and the more you're organized and the more you utilize your time, then you get more things done. So I don't think the UIC is ready for someone like me. So let me leave that alone. But once again, big shout out to my UIC contact. She knows who she is. I'm gonna leave it at that, people. Let me know what you guys think of the rambling that I went on with today. So I covered Red Rat, I covered Jamaica, has given Jamaicans a raw deal from day one. The UIC, I've covered a few things. But most of all, I'm here just to let you guys feel my presence. But before I go, let me big up some people.
Big up yourself to the maximum.
First of all, let me big up Blessed One. Blessed One, big up yourself. Howard Mullings, big up yourself, and thank you for always being there, bro. Marva Roberts, you know how I feel about you. Big up yourself, Marva. Evelyn D, one of my long-standing subscribers. Evelyn, big up yourself. Heavenly Majestic Warrior, big up yourself.
Big up yourself to the maximum. Big up yourself to the maximum.
And last but not least, let me big up Esther Strategic Advisor. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself to the maximum. Big up yourself to the maximum.
And that's pretty much it, people. Let me know what you think about this vlog. It's been a minute since I've actually done a vlog, but like I say, people, behind the scenes, I'm actually working on a Netflix documentary. I'm trying to transfer my book, get it over into a biopic, because it is a big book. It is 604 pages, people. So there's a lot of people don't like to read, and the core audience that I would like to reach with my story, most of them unfortunately cannot read. So if I could get it into a documentary or a film, that would just be great for me and for the whole purpose of telling my story. Like I always say on this channel, people, I accept thumbs up and thumbs down, agreement and disagreement, because at the end of the day, people, each one teach one. You've reached the end of my video, and that in itself is a support that I truly appreciate. Other ways that you can support this channel is by giving this video a thumbs up. But the most important way to support my channel is to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my future uploads. The third way to support this channel is to go to my Teespring account and purchase in any of my merch. And the fourth way that you can support this channel is joining me in Patreon to give me a contribution to help me to do what I do here on YouTube. Once again, I want to thank all of you guys for checking out my video and ask that you continue to join me, ENT Sabas, here on YouTube to see where my journey takes me. Until next time, peace.